You're listening to the Racking Round Table podcast, episode number 71. I'm your host, David Oria, and I'm here with my co-host,
Chris Sagana, and today we are talking about goal setting. It is December 2022. We're getting ready for 2023, Jordan year. But Bulls fans. But we actually broke down the goal setting to our 6 Fs. This is an idea we got from Brandon Turner when he was still over at Bigger Pockets, but we added our own little spin to it.
Hope you guys like it. I'm really excited for this. The activities on Raccoon Mounds. So we just kind of came up with this right now, actually, everyone. First of all, it's been a minute since you and I have done a podcast together.
Yeah.
Just us two, because we've had some amazing guests, not gonna lie. And but it's kind of nice, man, being able to just chat with you like this. I love it.
Yeah, man, I get to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to you for a bit, man.
Dude, it's been a minute.
Thanksgiving passed, all those different things passed, but I'm glad to see you, brother.
No, me too, man. Me too. But I think your idea of what to talk about today was awesome. So, Chris and I were talking about man, it's been a while since we've actually done a podcast together, and we were just kind of talking about it's the end of the year. It's December. 2023 is coming, which is crazy to even think about, first of all. And we were just kind of throwing back and forth, what are our goals and whatnot. And then you should tell them where you got this from.
Oh man, I have to definitely give credit to Bigger Pockets. When Brandon Turner was over at Bigger Pockets, him and his wife actually have a video on YouTube if you want to watch it, but they call theirs, I think, the of life. So they what
was that again? Sorry man, I you got cut off a little bit.
Oh no, you're good. They have a video called the 6 Fs of life.
Cool.
And these 6 Fs, and I'll read them down. How they have it broken down is friends, family, fitness, faith or spirituality, finance, and freedom. So with those categories, you have to just list out your goals. And what they did is that they did it with a partner, did with each other with his spouse, obviously. But obviously, if you're flying solo, then you can do this on your own.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this is actually list. It's a very tedious activity that they do. So when my wife and I did it at the beginning of this year, it took a couple hours. So it's actually a good idea.
Hours?
Yeah, man. Yes, bro.
Wow.
And that's why, if you do this, go to a coffee shop, go somewhere that you guys can kind of just focus on that and make a date out of it. But of course, if you're rolling solo, just go to the park or the beach or whatever, just do it on your own. But I highly recommend it. It is something that will make you reflect on what you want to have in your dream life, but also just kind of the steps that you have to set up for yourself to prepare for it. But Dave and I are actually going to have a little spin, right? You want to list our 6 Fs?
Yes, and we have our own 6 Fs that we're about to do on this podcast. And so ours are fitness, family and friends is going to be 1, faith, our financial goals, freedom, and our Filipino heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Those are it. That's it. I mean, it's pretty good list. Pretty good list.
Yeah. So write those down, and when we're done with this, do it on your own, and then let us know what you come up with. But
yeah, share it on all social media platforms, Instagram. Share it on the podcast. We would love to hear from other people too. What are your goals for 2023? So you ready, man?
Dude, I will say that Dave and I are literally going to say what's on top of our mind right now. I was supposed to message him and tell him, hey, this is my idea, so that we could have this ready. But hey, man, this is going to come from the heart. What you're about to witness right now is coming from the heart.
We'll see. Cross your fingers, man.
We will have to discuss these with our wives afterwards so that they're aligned.
It'll be recorded for eternity.
Yeah, man.
Oh, all man. Right. So, Chris, what are your fitness goals for 2023?
Oh man, fitness goals. I hope our buddy Dan Uncle will be
proud of me.
Right? Because I mean, he's making me look at fitness in a way that it's beyond just the aesthetic, beyond just how I want to look. I think I want to focus more on the function, right? And making sure that when I'm working out, that at least the core of my goal is to longevity of my life, and so that I can, if someone wants to go play basketball, I can go play basketball because I'm not in pain. But the main thing I think for me, at least step forward, is getting my weight under control. I can't blame it on being married. I can't blame it on COVID anymore. I can't blame it on working from home where the snacks are at. So I think for for fitness, and I keep saying that I'll do this, but it's just making sure that I'm eating right, but also there's a lot of like Instagrams and other resources out there that have to be fun. Like I know that Kimmy has made you guys some awesome food that's like where you guys are still tracking macros, but at the same time, it's like food that you can enjoy. It's not just the chicken and broccoli. You know what I mean? So that I just got to get my eating right because I think starts in the kitchen. And then when it comes to training, I want to get away from like the bro split they call, I guess, when you go to the gym. I mean, it works for some people, right? But I think I want to focus more on on function. How about for you, man?
Yeah, man, dude, those are, and I love the fact that you brought like Dan back in because dude, I needed that reminder because just something that like I really took away from just having that conversation. It was so good. If you haven't listened to it, if you have not listened to that episode, I strongly suggest that you go listen to that because something that I took away was just like having alignment in life, right? And that physical part, like the fitness part of that is, I think that's very, very important. It's part of that alignment. I guess that's kind of like more of like the big picture type of goal for me. More kind of like in the nitty gritty details, something that I've, fallen in love with and something that's, kind of a little bit newer for me. I've taken up jujitsu actually.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's something that I've honestly wanted to do for a very long time. And and I was telling somebody this recently. I was like, I feel like I've watched from the sidelines for so long, and then now I'm finally like, playing on the field, and it feels so, so different. And it got a lot of it has to do with body mechanics, with just understanding. It's the reason why I love it, I think, is because it's physically challenging. Like I literally get beat up every time we roll. And then but even more so, it's like mentally challenging. It's mentally like stimulating. It's like a puzzle. It's like a chess match. And I understand that now because like I would hear that, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, I could see that it would be a chess match. But like now I really understand like, what that actually means. And I want to just continue that. I want to be more consistent. I want to be able to level up and just, continue to pursue a passion of mine along the lines of fitness. And just like, yeah, like level up. It's just been something that I really, really loved.
How often do you go now? Like how often do you roll now, like or train?
Yeah, it kind of depends. So it depends on like what's going on in life right now, which is
Mhm.
so right now normally it's anywhere between I think the most I was training one a week was like 4 to 5 times a week.
Oh
And
wow. Holy
yeah,
crap.
and then but sometimes again, depending on like what's happening in life, maybe like one or two.
Mhm.
So it just kind of depends. But again, like I want it to be, more consistent, more intentional, of course. And that's kind of the goal, at least for 2023.
That's all. Sorry, I want to ask a couple more questions about it.
Yeah, of course.
How long are you there for? Like,
Oh
just
man.
if
Yeah.
anybody's interested, like, how long is usually that whole session?
Yeah, so basically that also kind of depends. Like, sometimes I'll just be in for like an hour session. Sometimes I'll like, roll for like 3 hours.
Wow, damn.
Sometimes,
Hmm.
yeah, and it's like, but it's not like 3 hours straight, obviously.
Hmm.
And I'm also like, getting coached, by one of our from one of my friends now, and he's really just like taking me under his wing, and really showing me the ropes and stuff. And that's kind of been the beauty of it, like our I think we were friends before, but and this is something that I just as had an interest in. He was like, "Hey, like, yeah, like let's do it." And I was like, "Wow, maybe this is like the door." Then I just
Yeah, man.
walk through the door, and then sometimes again, just like training for 3 hours. It's just like you just fall. It's or you lose track of time.
Hmm.
And then like 3 hours later, you're just like in pain. It's like that's the difference. But yeah, in the moment, it's crazy. It's fun.
That's also definitely one of those sports where you've like when growing up and watching MMA for a bit, I was like the biggest, strongest guy is
Yeah.
the best. No, it's like technique trumps
Hmm.
strength, I would say in this, right?
Yeah, and I think one thing that it's really drawn me to is that especially because I guess maybe this is the way that I'm being trained. My coach now, it's like he talks a lot about the mindset behind why we're doing what we're doing, right? And so that I think that kind of like loops in that whole like alignment piece. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just physical. It's like, yes, your technique needs to be like sound, but then also like your mind needs to be sound. And I like love that. I love when we like have like just conversations about like, okay, you need to understand like the root of why this is important, and
Mm.
mentally put that in your mind. And I just really love that piece. And it really kind of like rounds things out for me.
Man, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. And by the way, the episode with Dan is episode 60. I had to look that up real quick. So if you're interested, check out episode 60.
definitely.
So what's our next F? It's not a
Ooh.
bad word, but it's a
So- oh, what are your goals with family slash friends? We put them together,
Hmm.
family slash friends.
I'll go with family first.
Yeah.
And I would say one of my goals are, well, look, I will say shout out to my sister, Matthew Crystal, who got married
Let's
recently.
go.
Yeah, shout out to her in Arendelle. So I do want to get closer to her husband now and like really build that bond. But one of my main goals is to, since I mean, we're lucky enough to have, me and Alyssa have both our parents that are locally. I want to like, set a day once a week to have dinner with at one household
Aw,
each. You know what I mean? So that when we have kids, it's already set, and that they grew up having dinner with grandparents once a week. You know what I mean? I want them to
mm,
build that relationship, and I want
I
them to get
love
used to
that.
that. I think, and I told us, I was like, we gotta set a date where we go and have dinner with them. I know everybody's busy, but let's just do it. And then with friends, um, oh man, I'm gonna need. My goal. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can do this next year. It depends
Yeah.
on what we find out about you next week. But
Oh,
I have to, I have to visit you, man. I'm such a bad friend, dude. Because I know
nah,
how it
bro.
feels when you move. I was telling Alyssa, I said, I know how it feels when you move, and nobody visits you. And I was like, we visited you in New York, but it's like I haven't seen your place in DC. So one of my goals, wherever we find out next week, will be to visit you and Kimmy, man. That's a priority for me.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. We just been like, like
Waiting.
no, no. But I mean, dude, the times that we do get to see each other are always awesome. And I think so. I guess I'll start with friends too, because since we're kind of using that vein, I want to just level up like the intentionality behind like friendships,
Mm,
and I've like maybe this is speaking to that, right? Like we've been, for the past handful of years now, like been um kind of uprooted, I guess you can say, uprooted from, like we had this, like home base, right, which was,
mm,
San Diego, Southern California, and Arizona, pretty much. And so we were kind of like uprooted, and I guess we uprooted ourselves, and then moved out to the East Coast, and it's been a journey, like an awesome one. It's been an awesome one. But it allowed, I guess, I think Kimmy and I to understand just like the value of friendship, but like the value of intentional friendship, you know?
mm,
And I think there's a difference there, because there are people that you're friends with, and just because I don't know, maybe like you just grew up with each other and whatnot. And I think those are valuable as well. But actually like intentionally like leveling up a friendship, I think there's just so much value behind that too. And
mm,
that's definitely something that like I want to continue to take, you know, care of. I want to carefully do that, and just again really just intentionally level up friendships, regardless of where they are, whether they're back in California, Arizona, or wherever we end up, whether it's here on the East Coast and beyond, to be honest. That's kind of like my, I guess, friend goal coming off the top of my head. And then family is, ooh, this is like, I feel like I have so many like family goals. Um, Especially because we live so far, right?
mm,
So of course, like we want to see each other more, but we want to, I don't know. I just want to, first of all, I'm thankful that despite the distance, like our relationships have just grown, which is amazing, but I think the goal is to, I'm gonna say this, the goal is to continue to work towards spending like an exponential amount of time with each other, right?
mm,
So whatever that looks like, I don't maybe the full vision isn't like really complete, or the puzzle isn't complete yet, but continuing to work towards that goal. I think 2023 is going to be a big, big step in achieving that. I don't know. I just got a feeling. So we'll see.
Nice, man.
We'll
So
see. We'll
with
see.
intentional friendships, and
Yeah.
I like you. Can we dig into that a little
Yeah.
bit more?
Yeah.
And I guess is it finding friendships like that are more like intentional, I guess. And it's and for me, I now that you brought that up, I'm thinking of like I've always wanted like I have our usual circle of friends, our close you as of course one of my best friends, but it's like I also want to find like people who, like either have like the same kind of goals or the same kind of like I don't know, maybe the same kind of interests. Is that what you
Mhm.
mean? Like trying to seek others who you want to like build like relationships with, or
Yeah, kind of along those lines, right? It's like, well, one thing that I've like kind of asked myself, this is like a 2022 thing. This is 2022, David. Asked myself like, you know, not in like a bad way, but like, why am I friends with this person? I would
mm,
just ask myself that. And not because
mm,
like I was trying to hate on anybody or hate on myself. I would just ask that. And I would say like where is our friendship rooted? Like
mm,
what is it rooted in? And
mm,
sometimes like the answer would have been like because we were in fifth grade together and that's like where our friendship was rooted, or because we went to church together. That's another one. Because we live close to each other, right? But then I started to really think like there were times where it's like what's one answer that I found that was very very compelling was that because we're working towards the same goals together. And
mm,
I was like ooh, like, and I feel like that's like a more intentional type of answer, right?
mm,
Or maybe because our friendship is rooted, or we are friends because you know your dream is as big as mine, type of thing,
mm,
right?
mm.
And so like that, and I think maybe that's where that comes from. Um, I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, no, it does. I think it does. I
Yeah.
think it does. I think you are. It's very fair for everybody to ask, like, why am I friends with this person,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
analyze that,
Yeah.
and whatever you value is whatever you value. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's, but I think it's a good exercise for each of us to do. I mean, I've
Yeah.
done that, and you just and then you find out that, and then you start valuing that friendship with someone when you actually look at it, analyze it. You know what I mean? Or
I
sometimes
think
you're just
so.
like, and this is a mean thing to say, but it's like maybe you're like, is my time worth some people who I feel like I should be friends with because of how long we've
Yeah.
known each other or whatever? But it's like, I think it's a fair question for each person to ask about your relationships.
Yeah. I
And
think go ahead, go ahead.
I'll say, and it, and it's not just friendship, it's family, not like,
Oh
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like I'm not going to be fans with family with you anymore. I think it's just like time. It's time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. One thing that I also, I guess, like the follow-up question to me asking that question to myself was, okay, I understand how you're like rooted and why you're friends with this person, but then how do you level that up?
mm,
That's the follow-up question. And I think that's where the intentionality comes into
mm-hmm,
play, right? It's like,
mm-hmm,
okay, then how do you intentionally level that up? And
yeah.
sometimes I also think, it requires like both ends to want to level that up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
True.
So again, there's that level of intentionality on both ends. And I hope that kind of makes sense.
No, it does. It
Okay.
does. Absolutely. Okay. So what's our next one?
We said, well, what's your faith goal?
Oh man, my faith goal is something I realized in the middle of this year.
Mm.
And I think I need to be like, now that I'm getting older, I want to be more
Oh no.
too.
Oh, hold on. You were
Oh,
saying when you get older that
oh
then
no.
yeah,
Oh my bad. Yeah. So now that I'm getting older,
yeah.
um, I had like probably like mid this year, I was self reflecting. I was like, I want to be more like of a role model, whether
Right.
like I'm leading by example or like I'm
Right.
having open conversations about like my faith. David and I were men of faith, and that we're very active in our church. But I want to intentionally reach out to the youth and just try somehow, like it's I'm in this weird limbo where it's like I don't know how to do that just
Mhm.
yet without feeling like I'm intruding, or
Mhm.
like I'm like the idea of is like, well, like who do you think you are to like think that you should be a role model. You know what I mean? Or
Mm.
I don't know.
No, don't say that, man. Dude, you
hey,
are
that's
you're one of mine, definitely.
no, you're one of mine, bro. One of mine. But there's, I think it's the what's that thing we always talk about when it's when you're like that voice in your head that's like self-doubt or whatever.
Like
It's
you like
imposter
your
syndrome.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's pretty much imposter
Yeah.
syndrome. But it's also like I think I need to come with from it like from a genuine, authentic, like you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because I truly care, you know what I mean? And I just want to be able to help, especially the youth and you know, I think I have a responsibility, man. So
I like that. I like that.
now for you,
Yeah.
what's one of yours at least?
So yeah, I think when I think about it, it's I just and this comes from like again from like a spiritual standpoint, but also from like just a mindset standpoint. Um, I just want to like impact as many people as I can,
Mm,
whether directly or indirectly. And I just want to have like, yeah, I just want to have like a positive impact on people. You know, again, I don't have to know them. You know, I could, but also especially the people that I do know, but also for the people that I don't know, or don't know yet. You know, I want to be able to have like be a positive driving force, in people's lives, and just be a source of impactfulness, for people. And yeah, I don't know, like that, there's no like specifics, I guess, around that. It's just like a feeling that I want to continue to, aspire to achieve. And
mm.
maybe I never like fully realized what that even means, but I guess even the journey on the way to that, I think is a goal in itself.
Nice, man. You're gonna be a
Yeah.
beacon, bro.
I hope so, man. I hope so. That's a yeah. I mean, that'd be amazing. Just or to even think about it that way, right? Like
uh,
to be like a guide, you know, for whoever. I don't know,
hell yeah,
but
man.
I think that that level of impact, I think is just powerful, you know.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We were talking. I guess after faith, the next one is what are your financial goals?
Oh my gosh, man.
Chris could go on for an hour about this.
It's crazy because like now that we're on this, like my mind's kind of blank, man. Because
What?
yeah, man. Well, I want to. It's boring. I need to get into taxes. I need to figure out. No, I okay. All right. So my financial goal, like personal financial goal. I mean, obviously, you guys spoke about this on previous episodes, especially earlier episodes of, you know, we're trying to get on that fire journey. You know, financial independence, retire early, just so that we can probably spend more time on things that you know are really really important to us, for me and Alyssa. But aside from like our personal financial goals, I really, really, really want to help Filipino Americans fall in love with financial literacy.
Mm,
And I've told David this before, and I've kind of started a little bit, but and Alyssa's been like, you need to do this. I want to start either a blog or an Instagram that's dedicated on like financial content for especially you know our people and anybody
yeah,
in general, right?
yeah.
Who are intimidated by finances, intimidated by money, you know, who are not setting money goals for next year because they're intimidated. Like I want, if you're intimidated by money or learning about finances, I want your goal to not be afraid of it next year. That's a
Mm,
step forward, like to conquer your fear and just learn about it. You know what I mean? And like get into like somebody's ear to learn more who seems to be have their finances, you know, set or like who seems to know what they're doing. I want that to be your goal if you're intimidated by money. Then that's probably that's what and I want to be one of the resources. That's one of
mm.
my finance goals.
That's a good one, bro. That kind of like ties into like my goal of like impact and whatnot. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that, dude. And I know we talk about that so often. It's like it's ridiculous, and I'm sure like our wives are like nauseous every time we like bring that up anyway. But you know, that's definitely part of it. And dude, I definitely echo all of that. I guess I'll share kind of like maybe like a more personal one for me.
Mhm.
Um, is that you know, at least you know, financial, when we talk about like financial stability, financial freedom and independence, you know, I think of like having options and choices, you
Mhm.
know. And I guess a financial goal of mine, and again, this is 2023, but also like and beyond, but you know, 2023 definitely is the, I think, the year that we can hopefully make things happen, is to like bring my wife. you know? I
Oh,
want to
say that one
be
more time.
I want to free my wife.
That's
That's what
what
I
I'm.
that's what I want to do, bro. I really
Mm-hmm,
do. I really do.
mm-hmm,
And what that means to me is she has the choice to, pursue whatever she wants without, feeling the need. It's not a need
mm-hmm,
anymore, it's a want. Like the things that
mm-hmm.
she does, they're choices because, or she's doing them by choice because she wants to. Whatever that is, whatever that may be. And so that's just something that's like, been near and dear to like my heart. Yeah, freeing my wife and then freeing myself, after
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I know
And
that hits hard too for you, I'm sure.
yeah, and for
Yeah.
those who are listening, it's like what David means is to free our wives or even our like the financial burden of like having to work every day, or like
Yeah.
you're working for a paycheck, and
Right.
it's you know what, okay, can you elaborate a little bit more, David? Because and
Yeah.
when you say like free your wife, you're like, you mean like you're gonna like let her go, bro? Or like...
Yeah, it kind of sounds like that. But what I mean by that is that like I want the things that she does, like for our family, for herself, um, I don't want them to be like bound by like, are we able to like financially do that? Can I
Yes.
financially do this? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I want to eliminate that question. I want it to be like, and I want the question to be like, do you truly want to do this? Or do you truly want this? Or do you truly, desire this outcome? And then we can go do it. Right. And it's like, and you can relate that. You can literally put anything in that blank, whether it's, a new pair of shoes or a vacation or going to school or going to work even. Like it's a choice because it's like you don't need to but you want to. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that level of having choices and options is the financial freedom.
Mm.
And so that's what I mean, I guess, in terms of like freeing my wife, not letting her go, not letting her go, but keeping but
Yeah.
keeping her close.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely like you said, just having the freedom to choose to do something
Yeah,
that you want, you know.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
um, man, I love this. So this is why I see if you're listening, like this activity is fun to do either on your own or with like a partner, because like this is like the dream. Like Dave and I are saying goals like in like kind of the dreaming stage, I think, and like
yeah,
what the like the higher level of the goal is. Like when you go through these, you should go through like the different layers of it, like how you're going to get there, how you're going to get there next
yeah,
year. We're not getting into the nitty gritty of it because it's going to take us hours. Like I said, it took me and Alyssa hours, but it's just like it's a starting point, right?
yeah.
So the next F is freedom.
Mm.
Do we want to define freedom? Do you want
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own definition, I think, of what that means. Um, and I guess the thing that pops into my head when I like and want to answer this question is kind of again, it's linked to like the previous goal, but it's about, choice. It's
to?
about options. It's about yeah, that's honestly what it boils down to. At least again, that's just coming off of the top of my head, at least in the couple minutes that we've had to think about this. But it's having those choices, having options. And then I guess, freedom in the sense of, freeing Kimmy, but
Mm,
then also like freeing our family,
mm,
and our family having choices, so it's like I don't know. The dream would be to like, hey, it's random Tuesday. You want to go fly and visit your parents? And the choice is yes or no. It's
mm,
not, oh, do we have enough in the bank, or do I have enough PTO, or like do we got to do something else? Like just the choice is whether you want to or not. And then next Tuesday, you can ask the same question again. That's kind of like what I at least what I envision, when we talk about this question, at least right now. What about for you?
okay. Same. I think with freedom, it depends on, you can define that yourself for yourself. Like, is what does that look like? I think freedom is like the dream of you being free from anything that's pulling you back, whether it's like a financial reason or your job or whatever reason, or maybe your health. But in my sense, or for me, freedom is eventually not being tied down by like financial burden, or um, being able to do. follow my passion to my truest desire, man. But I think that's
Yeah.
like the overall, right? So if we want to focus just for next year, I think one of Alyssa and I's goals is to travel, right? We really want to travel, and I'm setting it a goal for us now is that we're going to go to Europe next year, right? Because she's
Nice.
never been, so I really want her to be able to see it and for us to go, and I want to do it primarily through travel hacking, and I am on one of our previous guests, Jason.
Yes. Oh my
that
gosh. He's awesome.
that man plans his next trip during his trip, bro. Like,
For real.
and I want to just do
Dude.
it through travel hacking like he
Yeah.
does, man. And
Yeah.
utilize the miles, the points. So we're accumulating a good amount of points over this year. Again, and more towards the beginning of next year. But I think the hardest part of it is planning it out and how to maximize the
Right.
points,
Right.
building itinerary, making decisions. And what's holding us back also is like, there's a list out enough PTO? There's,
Right.
can we shift some things around like our schedules and stuff? So it's like eventually the biggest dream is that those like restrictions will be non-existent for us,
Yeah.
but at least for next year, is that we are going to make it a priority to put ourselves first as far as spending time together, going on this trip, and making it happen, man. How about for you? Like, I know that you mentioned your goal is for freedom is, but what's like a goal for next year that you are dedicating to like to hit for next year?
Yeah. I think honestly the first thing that comes to my mind is to give Kimmy that freedom. Like
Mm,
that's the goal for next year to um allow her to or not allow her to work towards and achieve a to reach a place where she has those choices.
nice.
That's the main. I think that's been the main goal for a long time. I just never really had the right way to articulate it
Hmm.
until now, and I think now moving forward into 2023, I think yeah, that's still been the goal, and yeah, still it's yeah, I'm about to make things happen. So
That's what's up, man. I
yeah,
love that,
man,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that because it's like it doesn't have to be someone that you're married to that you
Yeah,
want to like say you want to give this freedom to, right?
yeah.
It could be like your parents, it
Mhm.
could be like if you're worried about them and finances, or like a sibling who probably has a health condition or something. It could be
Yeah,
anybody who or yourself, hey, but it's like
yeah.
whoever you really care about, man. I mean, that's such an awesome selfless goal, dude, to be honest,
Oh,
and
thank
like
you,
awesome
man.
partnership. But damn, yeah.
I love this conversation, man.
Yeah, man. I think
Oh,
it just gets you dreaming, dude. It just
it
gets you
does.
like, like gets you in a positive energy.
Yeah.
Um, so what's the last thing we have here? This is
Oh,
not from
mm.
Brandon Turner, but it's from David and Chris. This is what we called like Filipino heritage. I call it getting in touch with your Filipino American identity. Like
Yeah. Oh, Filipino identity. That's a good one. Filipino
yeah,
identity goal. Ooh, I like that.
yeah,
I like
and
that.
obviously, I mean, everybody knows the move that we've made with raccoon rounds and why we're focusing on this. But do you want to go first, David? What your goals are for next year?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a few. I think the one that like strikes me the most is it kind of relates back to the whole impact thing. It's the impact of people like me, the impact of other or breaking the chains that hold them down, or
Mm,
breaking the glass ceilings that that are above their heads, breaking the walls that confine them, that kind of thing. And I know it's not a heritage thing, because I know that we talk a little bit about heritage, but my like, and this is like David's like personal Filipino identity. Like I want to be or I want to contribute to breaking those things,
mm,
as a Filipino American, I hope to break them myself. I hope to help others break them for themselves. Um, and because I think, yeah, like a rising tide raises all ships, and I think we need some raising right now. And, I think, I don't know, it's just, that's just like something that's compelling to me. That's something that just continues to pull me. But also I know that part of that is also, getting in touch with, my roots, So
Hmm.
and I guess one thing that I want to focus on next year is understanding my personal roots. So like understanding like the stories of my family,
Mm.
understanding the histories of my family, what made them decide to even come here? Like what were they running from or what were they running to? And why how is that instilled in me? And really understanding that. I feel like the reason why is because I got a touch of that when I went back to Chicago recently and got to see family and like family friends, and it was just like an insane experience of just being able to like immerse myself in the history of my family, like where we grew up, why we were even there. And that kind of jump started that, and I want to just continue that in 2023. What about you, man?
Man, that's awesome. I had something else in mind, but also I guess I'll just kind of piggyback off what you said. Um, Alyssa and I sat down with both of our parents over this past Filipino American History Month, and like intentionally asked them more about the
Yeah,
history of our families. Right? We were
yeah,
asking like, what did like grandpa do? How did grandpa or grandma get here? Or what do they like? I'm like writing down like family trees so that we can.
yeah,
I want to digitalize it so that when as the tree gets bigger, that that can get passed on, right? And when you ask your parents about these things, what's their reaction?
hmm,
What's the reaction and like the excitement and the appreciation for even asking these type of questions? um I don't know, man. I like because you just see them reminiscing, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like, oh, you want to know about this person, you know about that person, or you know about my past. So as much as we like idolize people we don't know, like why not our roots, right? Where we come from. um but the other thing I want to focus on for next year is just really building like my foundation on like Filipino American history. So many books that were recommended to us recently, and just continuing to support like Filipino American artists, just people who are out there, pushing out um, different things on different platforms, whether like they're comedians or athletes or just anything, and
yeah,
just finding Filipinos in every space, so that every like the next generations can see that whatever they want to pursue, that they can see somebody who looks like them. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
just finding people and interviewing them on here, and like giving them their voice on, giving them a voice for everybody can hear, throughout these podcasts. That's like, I mean, that's overall Raccoon Round's goal. But I
yeah.
mean, if you guys know them, send them our
Yeah.
way, dude. Like,
Yes. Oh man, that's powerful. I love that. I love that. Dang, dude, that was great. I'm so glad we did this.
I know, same. And I hope that everybody's listening.
Yeah.
Like I said, like when you set your goals, be a little more detailed. But I'm hoping that hearing me and David's like live ideas was not
Yeah.
writing these down, has at least kind of got your minds moving. Just got your thoughts going, like getting ready when you guys get home from this commute that you're listening to this, or maybe when you're in the treadmill listening to this, or whatever you're doing. Just over the weekend or whenever you have free time, just do an activity like this.
Yeah.
Was it the 5 or 6 Fs?
Six Fs. Yeah,
Six
six
Fs.
Fs. Yeah. Yeah. No, I honestly suggest that everybody does this, and when you do, feel free to share them with us. Let us know. Let us know what you guys are thinking about. Let us know what you guys are goal setting and looking towards in 2023. Yeah, we'd love to hear it and just love doing this so much.